Turning back to today's other big story, the president's Supreme Court nomination. Carrie Severino joined me earlier to talk about Chief Judge Garland's record. Tell me your thoughts on President Obama's nominee.
Well, it's not surprising. We know the president wants a fifth liberal vote to really cement liberal dominance in the court and to have an opportunity to roll back some of the decisions he doesn't like the Second Amendment, to give people someone who's going to give deference to these administrative agencies. And he found that in Judge Garland.
But Judge Garland, the president today in the Rose Garden, was painting him as a moderate, as someone who reaches across the aisle. Your thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, we know the president's going to want to present the person as a moderate. He always does this, but he did that with his last nominees as well. And we see what we got. Justice Sotomayor and Justice Kagan vote in lockstep with the liberal wing of the court. And actually, even groups that are no conservatives, like the New York Times, have say he would vote right in the smack dab in the middle of the solid liberal bloc that's currently on the court. That means a laundry list of liberal agenda items, removing all restrictions on abortion, pushing back on the Second Amendment, paving the way for Obama's executive actions. All of these things are likely things that we would see Judge Garland vote on.
Do Republicans have the right to withhold consent, especially because the president voted to filibuster a Supreme Court nominee when he was a senator?
Yeah, it's ironic to have someone who was the first president to ever have voted to try to filibuster a Supreme Court nominee now say, now let's all play nice.
And play it straight.
And let's play it straight, right. He was part of bringing the politics to this process, really. But I think at the end of the day, the Constitution absolutely gives the authority to the Senate to be a check on the president. That's their job. And they're doing that because the people elected a Republican Senate in 2014 to push back against a president who really was taking extreme liberties with his position and really pushing the constitutional limits. So they're doing that. They're going to give a voice to the American people to let them decide, who do you really want to choose the next Supreme Court justice? It's a unique opportunity to have this happen during an election year.
If he were confirmed, which is highly doubtful based on all of the rhetoric from the Republicans. I don't even think he's going to get a hearing. What would that mean for the life issue and for religious liberty? You mentioned that he had clerked for Justice Brennan.
Right, and then he was, of course, the architect of Roe versus Wade. So if he follows in his justice's footsteps, I think we could be very clear that he's not someone who would be likely to overturn Roe versus Wade. I also think the president would never appoint someone he thought would not, in fact, be willing to expand abortion jurisprudence, possibly to change that 5-4 decision in favor of upholding restrictions on partial birth abortion. So while he didn't rule on that case at the D.C. Circuit, I think we know where he stands because the president knows where he stands.
Thank you very much. Carrie Severino, Judicial Crisis Network.